Me-
Welcome to Jackie Robinson Ballpark here in Daytona Beach, Florida on the CatEye Network and SWAT TV. Kenny Scherlinger here with Jade Barquette, filling in here for the voice of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, Michael Trulio, and Bethune-Cookman with a midweek little Tuesday action against the cross-state team here in USF. The Bulls coming into today on a hot streak, winners of the last 6 games. Bethune-Cookman had a pretty good weekend themselves, but dropped their final game against Yale on Sunday, Jade. But this should be a good test here for the Wildcats coming up here in just a few moments.
Absolutely. USF coming here to Jackie Robinson Ballpark with a 7-1 start, their best start since 2017, so wanting to keep that going. And for the Wildcats, yes, dropping that last game to Yale, but had a decisive win against their rivals in FAMU down in Vero Beach on MLB TV. So on the big stage there for the Wildcats, got to have some SWAC action a little bit early, but both teams wanting to come in here and make a statement tonight.
Like you mentioned, Bethune-Cookman getting a win in Vero Beach against FAMU 6-2. They had a tremendous pitching performance there and got the win. They also had some magic going against Yale earlier that weekend with a walk-off winner. On the mound here for Bethune-Cookman to start us off and get this one started here is Michael Benedict, as he's coming off one appearance against FIU. He went 3 1/3 inning pitch, 4 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And leading off here for USF, the center fielder Ryan Pruitt to get us started. We'll roll through the lineups here as we get it going here. With the first pitch being at 6:01, it's outside for a ball. Behind Pruitt will be Racky Lowry, the second baseman, and the 3-hole Jake Kulikowski, the left fielder. The second pitch is underway and fouled back. 1-1 the count goes to. Ethan Early, the first baseman. Eli Thomas, the designated hitter. Jacob Green, the right fielder for USF. The 7-hole Santiago Corrales is behind the plate catching. Jack Lutz, the third baseman, 8th hitter, and rounding out your starting lineup here, Jevin Relaford, the shortstop for the Bulls. These two have faced off a handful of times in recent memory. We'll get into more of that throughout the broadcast as that one's fouled away. Bethune-Cookman won the last matchup at the Jack in 10 innings. In a great game last spring. Bethune-Cookman got a walk-off double from Andre Martinez that scored Darrell Lee. Those two back in the lineup here tonight as that one's down and away. And Jade, going into this one, Bethune-Cookman really held on to a lot of their key pieces in this world of college baseball and college athletics in general. That is huge because constantly the mid-majors getting poached by the big boys in the college world, but that's something that's going to carry them big here.
It's definitely something that head coach Johnny Hernandez wanted to make sure that he kept in his team, and that helps with the familiarity of the coaching staff that they have this year, all of them returning from last season, and just the buy-in from the players, wanting to build championships. Obviously, the foundation of that set last season, and just how they are day in and day out. It's very business-like, but they like to have fun. They know the difference of when it's time to lock in and when it's time to play.
First out recorded there as Pruitt pops out to left field, and Lee had no problem with that. First pitch there to Racky Lowry. Comes to the plate again. That one's a little bit inside. That one's just off the plate. It goes 2-1 here. Bethune-Cookman will be back at home this weekend against Delaware State as that one evens up the count at 2-2. Wildcats, like we mentioned, returning a lot from a tremendous team last year, winners of the SWAC. Made the NCAA tournament first time since 2017, as that one's hit hard in the center. Giving chase and making the play over to his left is Rivera for out number 2. A lot of ground to cover out there, Jade, but Wildcats know it well out there.
He's super speedy out in center field as Sergio Rivera handled that one well, got a great jump and tracked it the whole way through. Benedict right now doing well, throwing strikes, but trusting his D behind him.
We expect a bullpen day, a staff day, if you have it here for Bethune-Cookman in this midweek matchup. See how far Benedict goes as this little sweeper there gets him ahead in the counts. On the 3-hitter here, Jake Kolakowski, the left fielder. And that one's in there for a strike.
And that's kind of expected, right? That bullpen day, everybody gets an inning or two depending on how the person before them goes, needing to work their arms a little bit, and for coaches just to see how pitchers do in different scenarios.
That one's just outside, 1-2 the count. Kolakowski, the transfer from Miami, Florida, as that one's driven in the left field. This one's cut in towards the foul line, and it's going to be fouled before Lee can get to it over there in foul territory. Kolakowski took off there. He's going to have to take the long walk back. Bulls wearing the green road uniforms here, Tampa Bay across their chest. Nice looking look for them. Then Cookman, the home gold tops. That one's sliced foul over the Bethune-Cookman dugout. Wildcats coached by 5th-year head coach Johnny Hernandez, who we've mentioned had the Wildcats clicking on all cylinders last year. SWAC champs went to the Tallahassee Regional and their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2017. As this one's hit hard in the center, and it's going to get down for the first hit of the ball game. Unable to get to that one was Rivera, and it is a 2-out single here for the Bulls in the first inning.
Kolakowski just drilled that ball straight away center field like a missile. He had that one that was curling foul and had a chance to come back in the box and do damage, and he waited for that pitch.
That's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, Nathan Early. A righty steps in. The lefty steps in here and takes first pitch from Benedict outside. And Benedict will check the runner at first base. Early the lefty, transfer from Louisville, native of Cincinnati, Ohio. And another pitch over to, or another throw over to first. Unsuccessful. Bulls managed by Mitch Hannes in his second year in Tampa Bay. 11 years at Indiana State. Took the Sycamores to 5 NCAA tournaments and hosted a regional in his tenure there up in Terre Haute. That one is outside. We're scoreless here early on between Bethune-Cookman and USF. 2 outs as Benedict is trying to get out of this little jam here as that one's outside once again.
Mitch Hanna's doing a fantastic job of kind of reshaping this program after their 3 consecutive losing seasons the year before he got here, 31-25 last year, as that one will allow him to walk, early to walk. But he really just wanted his team to kind of get rebranded in different ways, and he felt like they were on the right track with that last year, but they brought back a core group of returning position players and kind of revamped the pitching staff, which he feels like will help them depth-wise throughout this season. And just to have the tenacity to go and get different players and find them in the transfer portal as well is huge for the USF.
Thomas lines out right back to Benedict down the mound. He flips over to first, and that's going to end the inning, and he gets out of the jam. 2 runners left on, 1 hit. And we're still scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. The Wildcats will take the bats when we come back. Part of the first inning about to get underway. Kenny Scherlinger, Jade Burkett-Hiller here with you for CatEye Network on SWAC TV. Wildcats will lead it off. Eric Amante, the second baseman, will face off with Dominic Ponce-Briant, the pitcher for USF. Has pitched in 2 games, 4 1/3. He's given up 2 hits, no runs, no earned runs as well. 1 walk and 6 strikeouts early on. As the first pitch is fouled down the first baseline by Amante. Andre Martinez behind him on deck. Darrell Lee, the left fielder. Gio Poyedo, shortstop in the 4-hole. Michael Lucena, the designated hitter. Jose Fernandez at first base. Sergio Rivera at center. Batting 8th, Ruben Zuani, the right fielder, and rounding out their lineup for Bethune-Cookman, the catcher, Jacob Estrada. Just tuning in here, USF stranded 2 after a hit and a walk. As Michael Benedict, who got the start, got out of the little jam. We're expecting a bullpen day here for Bethune-Cookman and their staff in this midweek matchup. We'll see how that goes. Lots of games early on, they're off and running, especially when you're, it's a little chilly here, but when you're fortunate enough to be playing in the southern part of the United States, all the northern teams come down. There's plenty of opportunities to get some matchups going, and Bethune-Cookman reaping those benefits, but they're getting a lot of baseball in and a lot of baseball being played early on. That one's low.
We're saying it's chilly, and everybody up north is dealing with snow and blizzards, and this is probably a light summer day for them.
USF, of course, in-state, not dealing with too much of that. Delaware State will probably be happy to be down here this weekend. It's a leadoff walk for Almonte to get the Wildcats going. He'll head to first. It's going to bring up Andre Martinez, who, like we mentioned, last time these 2 faced off at the Jack, walked off the Bulls with an RBI double, scored Darrell Lee in 10 innings in an exciting game. So these teams have really had some good games. They've faced off 2 times in the NCAA tournament back in 2017. The last time the Wildcats before last year made the NCAA tournament before they went on to face the Gators in the regional final in that one and knocked out the Gators once, but before they got eliminated. But USF and Bethune-Cookman, the two programs familiar with each other. In the last few years, have faced off in these midweek matchups, as that one's popped up high in the air, into right. Green under it, and almost lost it for a second. Had to make a couple steps late there to get to his right to make the catch, but he does. That's out number one.
I don't know if he didn't see it or maybe the sun as it went up was messing with his head a little bit, but there is no wind right now in the jack, so that's not really a factor for both hitters and the D, but he barely made that play.
Let's go bring up the lefty, Darrell Lee. Left fielder steps into the box and takes a first pitch strike from Pontbriand. Yeah, calm day, a little bit chilly for this time of year, in the mid-50s. It'll probably get down in the low 50s as the sun goes down here in Daytona Beach. Darrell Lee, his second season with the Wildcats, JUCO product. Swings away at that one, and it's fouled away. And I know, Jade, when you were doing the preview for Bethune-Cookman, Darrell Lee kind of mentioned when he came in last year, he didn't really have a role, but now he feels like his role solidified this year and ready to rock this year in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an everyday guy for the Wildcats and somebody that they need to be on the field. He's such a servant leader in the sense that he does everything that his team needs him to do. You know, he's the guy that's going to pick up the balls and move things around or do anything that his coaches ask him to do. And right now he's kind of solidified himself out in left field.
Lots of speed out there in the outfield for Bethune-Cookman as this one's golfed high in the air. Making his way back. And Almonte, as he had to get on his horse to get back, because that's a pop-up to the shortstop, Relaford. And it's going to bring up Jeter Poyedu.
The hit and run was on there. Almonte slipped, almost getting to second base, knowing that that was a high fly right into the infield grass. He had to quickly get back. Glad he made it there safely and didn't slide again.
Jeter batting .292 with 7 hits so far this season. He's got a couple doubles and a homer. This one is the first pitch swing high in the air in the center. Pruitt under that one for out number 3. And that's going to take us to the second inning. Still scoreless. Wildcats strand 1 on the leadoff walk. And we'll head to the second inning here on the CatEye Network. Jacob Green will lead it off here for USF to get us started in the second inning. The right fielder steps in, lefty, facing off with Michael Benedict. Got the start here as that one's rifled in the right field, down for a base hit. And Green takes a little bit of a turnaround first and retreats back. It's a leadoff single for Jacob Green. It's going to bring up Santiago Corrales. So the catcher, Corrales, will step in, the righty, as Benedict fires over to first, unsuccessful. Second game of action here for Corrales. He's got 3 at-bats so far, 2 hits, and another check over to first. Benedict making sure the Bulls are honest on the base pass early on in this one. And a third time over and almost got him there. That was a little close.
We'll see that a lot. Sorry, we'll see that a lot with head coach Johnny Hernandez, his staff. He likes to pick over to first to keep the runners honest and know that they got their eyes on them over there. No free steals.
This time he comes home. It's over to third. Martinez makes the play over at second. They try to turn 2, and they do. Nice play there to turn the twin killing into 2 outs there and empty out the base pass as Bethune-Cookman's defense flashes there in the second inning.
That was about as smooth of a double play as you can get. The follow through from everybody and the collected the ball from Martinez. The ball was hit pretty hard. Well done by the Wildcat defense to get that done.
That's going to bring up Jack Lutz, the third baseman, batting .333, 7 hits this year and 21 at-bats. A lot of production up and down the lineup here for South Florida as this one is driven high in the air in the center. No problem, though, for Sergio Rivera. And after the leadoff hits, USF grounds out into a double play and then a fly out. And that ends the top half of the second inning. 1 hit, no runs, and nobody left on base for USF. We head to the bottom of the second inning here, scoreless in Daytona Beach. Bottom of the second, about to get underway. Leading off for the Wildcats, Michael Lucena, the designated hitter, who will face his first at-bat here against Dominic Montebriant. That one's in there for a strike to get ahead in the counts. 348 year for Lucena. 8 hits, leads the team with 2 homers as well. Makes the second pitch inside for a ball, 1-1.
We've seen him behind the plate as a catcher, now in DH position for the Wildcats. He's a guy that's going to get on base and fire you up. His energy is infectious.
Native of Venezuela takes the second strike there to get behind in the counts. 5'9", 180 junior. Pops this one high in the air. Right in the infield, making the play, the second baseman for USF, Laurie, for out number 1. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jose Fernandez, with 1 out, nobody on. Fernandez, another Venezuelan on this team. Redshirt junior, returner from last year's squad. 6'3", 220. Batting .304 so far this season with 7 hits. 2 doubles and a homer. And a ball comes out of the bullpen down the left field line. There's some action going on down there for the Wildcats.
It's always the danger of having the bullpens on the field. Number one, for the defense, you don't want them to run into the mound over there trying to catch a foul ball, and then the ball can come on the field and play while they're trying to warm up as well.
That one's low. And Jade, you mentioned Lucena, a very infectious guy in the locker room, in the dugout. You mentioned in your preview as well that Bethune-Cookman, a very business-like team on the field, but a lot of fun to be around off the field, and they know how to have fun and very tight group.
Yeah, they are a super tight group. I mean, this team is, obviously that returning group helps a lot, and they've just welcomed the newcomers in, taught them the ropes, but have allowed themselves to go as this one's blasted over the wall, and it's gone!
Yep, that is a homer, a solo shot from Jose Fernandez. Second of the year. That one was a laser. Looked like for a second it wasn't going to be high enough to get over the wall, but that one is gone and gives the Wildcats a lead here with the solo shots.
And Jose Fernandez is such a power hitter. I mean, you see it in the way he swings when he swings and misses. That one didn't miss at all. He got every single piece of the ball and absolutely drilled it, hit the scoreboard, and you saw the fun they have right there after he came around the bases.
This one's tapped fouled on the first base line for Sergio Rivera, making his first at-bat. So Fernandez gets it going, and you see the power there for him.
You see him in BP at practice before the game, and he is just launching balls everywhere throughout the field. That one, he pulled to the left field, but he hits balls out from everywhere.
And a quiet night here wind-wise. As that one's a big cut and a miss from Rivera. And wind's blowing in a little bit from the outfield, from right center, but shouldn't be too much a problem. And the humidity's down as well, so the ball flying a little bit more than what you would typically see here, especially once you get later in the year towards the summer where you get up into 80, 90, 100% humidity right off the beach here, about a mile or so, and then the river right there as well. So you get a lot of humid night games, day games, and the ball doesn't travel as well as Rivera goes down looking there for out number 2.
Relatively calm night as well around the ballpark. It's very serene with the sunset going on, and you have the clouds behind you. And it's beautiful to play here. I'm sure USF happy to be in a ballpark like this. historic Jackie Robinson Ballpark, and the Wildcats no stranger to how this ball can fly here.
That's going to bring up Ruben Zuani. The right fielder steps in for the first time, righty. Takes that one for a ball. Freshman from Coral Springs. Up here with 2 outs and a 1-0 lead here for Bethune-Cookman on a Jose Fernandez solo shot just a few moments ago here in this second inning. One in there for a strike, evens up the count at 2-2.
Ruben Zuani is one of those newcomers that Johnny Hernandez brought into this team that has just pure talent. You can see him, he's just ready to hit the ball. And again, one of those guys in BP that is just crushing the baseball.
That one's inside. We'll fill the count up at 3-2 with 2 outs, nobody on. Bethune-Cookman looking to get back in the win column after losing to finale against Yale on Sunday. Beat FAMU down in Vero Beach on Saturday. Payoff pitch is a swing and a miss, and Montebriant gets him and ends the inning, but not before Bethune-Cookman takes the lead on a solo shot from Jose Fernandez. It's 1-0 here in Daytona Beach. This is the CatEye Network on SWAC TV. Top of the third inning about to get underway. Line hitter up here for USF, Jevin Relaford, the shortstop. 1-0 ball game. Bethune-Cookman up after the solo shot in the last half inning by Jose Fernandez to get the Wildcats on the board. And that one's in there for a called strike. Just outside, and there for a ball. Benedict still there on the mound for Bethune-Cookman. This one is hit softly in the left field, and it's going to get down the line, making the play is Lee. Fires over to second, and sliding in there safely as the ball goes outstretched, or out past the outstretched glove of Amante, but Fernandez picks it up. It's a leadoff double there for the 9 hitter, Jevin Relaford, bringing us back to the top of the lineup for the Bulls.
That ball just sprung off his bat, landed right before foul territory. Lee did a fantastic job of getting it in. And just like you mentioned earlier, bullpen day. We're have a change here.
Johnny Hernandez making his way out to the mound, and that's going to be it for Michael Benedict as he goes 2 innings and is going to exit the game here. We'll take a quick break here on the CatEye Network. We'll beat the new pitcher when we come back. Wildcats head to the bullpen here in the third inning. David Morrissey, the 6-foot, 170 junior from Melbourne and transfer from Eastern Florida State College, steps up and will take the mound after Michael Benedict exits after 2 innings. Ryan Pruitt leads it off after the pitching change. The leadoff double from Jevin Relaford. They start the inning, so back to the top of the lineup, showing bunt. Pruitt pulls back, and it's in the dirt from Morrissey in his first pitch of his outing.
Pruitt right now on an 8-game hit streak. Going to want to continue that tonight. Did not get a hit the first time he was up to bat.
Showing bunt again, pulls back. They say he did not, and he went around, so it's 1-1. Morrissey went 1/3 of an inning against FIU, gave up 2 hits. For that, another appearance against Bradley, 1 1/3, as that one's fouled down the first baseline. Softly, 1-2, gets ahead in the count. So Benedict goes 2 innings on 29 pitches, 3 hits, 1 walk. And no runs. You're still in a 1-0 ball game. Jose Fernandez putting the Wildcats on the board in the second inning on a solo shot. Check over to second base from Morrissey, unsuccessful.
And Benedict did really well. We knew that the starter was only going to go about 2 innings, and he did just that and did his job. No runs for his team, or for USF, excuse me.
Pruitt, who flew out to the outfield his first time up, strikes out here. And Morrissey out of the bullpen gets an opening strikeout to record the first out of the 3rd inning. So 1 down here for Laurie. Recky Laurie flew out to center his first time up. The second baseman will step up to the plate with a runner in scoring position, representing the game's tying run here for USF. Runner goes over to third, throw down to third as he's in there. Out! He slid off the bag, and applying the tag was Martinez. He beat the throw, but he slid off the bag a little bit too far, and that's a big throw there from the catcher Estrada, and a nice tag for Martinez. Heads up play.
Yeah, absolutely heads up play from those two. And with this turf, the sliding from USF, they're not really used to how it will play when they dive into the base. That definitely has something to do with that, but great play by Martinez over there to get the tag down.
That one's outside, called for a ball on Laurie. So the base pass empty and 2 outs now. And Morrissey out of the bullpen, who got a strikeout in his first at-bat. Look at then the inning quickly here as that one's laid down nicely down the third base line, and Wildcats are going to wait for that one to go foul, and it does. About 3/4 of the way down the line. And there you see the turf kind of helping out the Wildcats there as well. I mean, and some real turf, maybe that doesn't roll as much, so you get the caught steal in there, the slide past the bag, and then you get a nice little roll on the bunt to go foul.
They definitely took a chance on that one rolling foul. I didn't think it had a shot at all, but they know the field better than I do, and everyone stopped and watched it go foul, to exclamation from the dugout after.
It was a nice bunt. Would have been a tough play, so they kind of only had one choice there to maybe wait, as this one's fouled in the foul territory. Fernandez gave it chase, but couldn't get there in time. Nice effort there, but it's going to be a strike as sun just about down here in Daytona Beach. Lights are on here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, going through a lot of renovations, especially out in right field, as that one's fouled away once again. New locker rooms in right field. Batting cages going in and left, as the old clubhouse for the home teams here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark has been demolished, and the batting cages going out there. And that one's popped up high in the air in right field, and no problem there for Ziwani, and that's going to take us to the bottom half of the third inning. 1-0 game as Bethune-Cookman gets out of the jam. We'll take a quick break here on the CatEye Network. Pitching change here for USF. Bryson Tweedy, the freshman, 6'2", 195, native of Plant City, Florida, and Strawberry Crest High School will take the mound here for USF. Bethune-Cookman will lead it off with the 9-hole hitter, Jacob Estrada, the catcher. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike. The one is driven into left center. This one's going to get down for a leadoff single for Jacob Estrada.
He drilled that one right in the gap. Left center field. A great piece of hitting for Estrada, who saw that first pitch, didn't take it, and then smashed that one.
That's back to the top of the lineup now for the Wildcats. Eric Almonte, who singled his first time up to start the ball game. Pontiant goes 2 innings, 33 pitches, 1 hit, 1 run on the solo shot, walked 1 and struck out 2 as Tweedy comes in for the starter, Dominic Ponce-Briant. The lefty drives that one down into the gap as that one makes its way into left field. Back-to-back hits into left for the Wildcats. 2 on, nobody out. Coming up to the mound, or to the plate here, is Andre Martinez.
This is where Martinez thrives, just driving runners in. Almonte doing a good job of pulling that ball from the left batter's box through the gap as shortstop and third. A little small ball baseball happening for the Wildcats.
So Martinez, who flew out to right his first time up, steps up. Wildcats leading at 1-0. As that one's outside as Tweedy gets behind in the count. Coming to this one, 345 for Martinez. 10 hits, 3 doubles, and a homer. He's the Wildcats in slugging percentage as well. He's also got 6 RBIs. Got a runner scoring position here. And Bethune-Cookman looking to extend their 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Tweedy comes home, and this one's hit high in the air into center, and this one's going to get down. Misplaying that was Pruitt, the center fielder. The runners had to hold up, so the bases will be loaded here. Looked like he was going to get under that, and then just ended up dropping, but you see the home team getting a nice little bounce there.
Yeah, and the ball kind of spurred off of Martinez's bat a little bit weird, too. It went high in the air, and then maybe not the best of reads by Pruitt out in center field. Again, the ball dropping, and Wildcats bases loaded here in prime position.
Darrell Lee steps up, bases juice, no outs, as that one bounces to the plates. It is ball that squirts out to the right there. Nice play by Arias to keep it in front of him. The runner stays puts at 3rd. That's Estrada who had the leadoff single. 3 straight singles here for Bethune-Cookman. Like you mentioned, that ball didn't look like it was going to get down. The runners had to hold up because they thought maybe it was just going to be an out. That's what the bases are loaded here, is that one's in there for a strike.
Now Monte not barely made it to second, but the tag from Laurie was close at second base when the ball came in from Pruitt.
Lee drives that one right back to the mound. They're going to go home, get the first runner, and fire down to first for the second out, as Lee hits into a unconventional 1-2-3 double play. And the runners move over to 2nd and 3rd, but that's a killer there. The Wildcats ground out to a double play, and they get the lead runner at home.
If you're USF, that wouldn't have been called up any better. The ball just be blooped right back up to the pitcher. They get that runner at home, no run to go across, and then a double play as well.
Credit to Tweedy there for keeping his composure, not panicking, just knew exactly where he was going, and then a nice play there from Correalis to fire down to first and get Lee. So now 2 outs. 2 runners in scoring position here for Gito Payedo, the righty. It's a big cut there that's fouled back at the net behind home plate. Oh, the Wildcats still in some business here, but now down to only 1 out to work with. The runner's scoring position. One standing 90 feet away as that one's high. They checked down if he went. They say he did not, so it's called a ball. Poyedo flew out to center his first time up. Coming into this one batting .292. 9 RBIs so far. Has some speed as well. This one's fouled hard over the USF dugout, out of play. Infield here for USF back into the regular depth after they had to move up there. The bases juiced a few moments ago. Big cut and a miss and a strikeout. Poyedo goes down on strikes. And the Wildcats strand 2. They had the bases loaded with no outs. Grounded out into a double play. They got the lead runner at home. And it remains 1-0 with Bethune-Cookman leading the way. We head to the 4th inning here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0, Bethune-Cookman leading USF. Leading off for the Bulls, Jake Kulikowski, the left fielder, singled and was stranded on second base after moving up. His first time up as this one's popped up high in the air, going back at the track and making the play, though, is the right fielder, Zuani, making the play there and recording the first out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Nathan Early. So one out here. And that one's hit hard right at the second baseman, Almonte, and he flips over to first. Fernandez for the second out. So 2 pitches, 2 outs early on here to start the fourth inning.
I'm loving the way the Wildcats pitching staff has been working tonight. Benedict started it off quick, hot, throwing strikes, trusting his defense. Morrissey has stepped in here, done the same exact thing, throwing strikes and allowing his defense to make plays behind them.
Morrissey fires that one in there for a strike to get ahead in the count. That one's in there for a ball, 1-1. Fires that one in to move ahead now, 2 strikes. The 1-2, swing and a miss, got him. 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats. A pop out to the right, ground out, and a strikeout. We'll take it back to the bats with Bethune-Cookman in the bottom half of the fourth inning when we come back. Wildcats leading a 1-0 here at the Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 ball game. Bethune-Cookman leading the USF Bulls out of the American Conference. A little American SWAC action here, midweek action. And this Tuesday night here in Daytona Beach, Michael Lucena, the designated hitter for the Wildcats, takes a first pitch strike from Tweedy. Tweedy came in his first inning action last inning as this one's grounded over to shorts. Relaford makes the play and fires over for out number 1. That's going to bring up Jose Fernandez. Last time he stepped up into the plate, he had a solo homer that's is our only run of the game, blasted over the left field wall, a laser shot. As the righty steps in here with nobody on and 1 out. And that one got him a little bit there. It was a foul.
He's pointing to the barrel of his bat. I thought
Yeah.
that hit his entire hand. And honestly, thank goodness it didn't, because you
Yeah,
never
this
want to take
stuff.
direct contact to your hand. It's a cold night, so I'm sure hitting the barrel affected his hand as well, the vibration of it.
This one's grounded. Over to third. Lutz makes the play on a one hop and fires it over to first for out number 2. Well, that's definitely not what you want to see there. You don't want to get hit in the hand there with the bat in between. You get your fingers sandwiched in there, but a ground out looks to be okay, and 2 down now with nobody on for Sergio Rivera. Rivera struck out looking his first time up. That was back in the 2nd inning. The center fielder steps up, takes the Tweedy pitch for a called strike. Fastball in there to get the head in the count. Rivera coming into this one, 286 batting average. Holds off on that one. Has drawn 4 walks. A lot of speed and tremendous fielder out there in center. Drives that one right back at the mound into center field. It is a single with 2 outs, and Rivera gives the Wildcats a little bit of life here in the 4th inning.
Rivera's another guy that I talked to for their preseason preview that I did, and he's a guy that knows this program, knows what his coach is expecting of him, has a very mature mindset when he's at the plate, and you saw it there. 2 outs, and he drove that one right up the middle.
Ruben Zuani steps up as Tweedy fires over to first base. USF a little bit of action down the right field line in the bullpen, as it looks like they're also in a bullpen day for their pitching coach, Daniel Schlereth, who is a former MLB pitcher with the Arizona Diamondbacks and Detroit Tigers. His father, Mark Schlereth, longtime ESPN NFL commentator, as that one's fired down to second and swiping the bag there. Perfect so far this year. Sergio Rivera swipes his 5th bag of the season.
And he was staring at the pitcher-catcher when the ball was going to throw situation the entire time he was running to second. Usually you don't do that, or you're not told to do that, but Rivera is so speedy that it didn't even matter.
Well, he moves into scoring position. This one's fouled. Down the third baseline, out of play. Check that second stolen base there for Rivera. Had 4 walks coming in to this one. But the speedster swipes second, moves in the scoring position with 2 outs. And timeouts called there at the plates. There's a breaking ball that's fouled behind the plate there for strike. Wildcats lead at 1-0. They got a solo shot from Jose Fernandez back in the 2nd inning. 5 hits for the Wildcats, no errors on 1 run. USF, no runs on 3 hits, no errors. And taking third base for his 3rd stolen base of the season, Sergio Rivera.
You see Johnny Hernandez wanting to get those runs on the boards. Rivera is the guy to do it very fast on the base paths. USF didn't even waste the throw down to third. There was nobody covering the bag over there as well.
With 2 outs, sometimes you just kind of, as he fakes the steal home there. And a timeout coming from the umpire down the third base line. Count 2-2. Tweedy comes home. That one is low. Count runs full. 3-2. Rivera opened the do it as he pleases over at third with 2 outs and the count juiced as that one's in there for a called strike. They end the inning. Ruben didn't like that one. He was halfway down the first base line heading to first. And that's going to end the inning. Wildcats strand 1 there. It's still 1-0 here from Jackie Robinson Ballpark. We head to the top of the 5th inning. USF with the bats when we come back. New pitcher on the mound here for Bethune-Cookman. Julian Carrasquilla, right-hander, 6'3" senior from Miami, Florida, steps up here in the 5th inning. Jacob Green will lead it off here for USF. Down 1-0. USF looking for some offense here. First pitch there from Carrasquilla, outside for a called ball. Wildcats had some action there in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Couldn't get anybody across the plate, though, as I had a runner 90 feet away and striking out looking there. And a close call was Ruben Zuani.
Second consecutive inning that the Wildcats haven't been able to put runs on the board where they've had them in scoring position. No outs, 2 outs. They've done the work to get there. Now it's just putting them around all bases to add more to the scoreboard, because this USF team is a team that can score runs.
That one is half swing checked out of play. Yeah, they could score runs. They scored 29 runs on Saturday against Georgia Southern. They swept Georgia Southern, a traditionally pretty good program.
29 runs now, their program record.
Yep.
For runs scored in a game for USF.
This one's in the right field. Out past Fernandez and Amante, the second baseman. And that's going to be a leadoff single here for Jacob Green. Kind of olayed there from the Bethune-Cookman infield there, past the first baseman to the second baseman. It was going to be a tough play either way. It was some speed there from Green heading down the line. That's going to bring up Santiago Carillas. Check over to first from Carlos Skia. He's making his second appearance here in 2026. Pitched an inning against FIU on the 17th. 1 hit, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. One of those hits was a homer against the Panthers. Another check over to first.
I'm sure he's stepping on the mound here with a little bit more confidence because the guys before him in Morrissey and Benedict did such a good job of keeping runs off the board. Yes, giving up a few hits, but nothing that the Wildcats can't handle. And continuously just to throw strikes. Let your defense do the work, but get out and then get your team back up to the plate.
3 straight throws over to first. And coming over the first time, just outside. One out. Carillas, limited action here, playing only in his 3rd game of the season. That one's another check over there, unsuccessful. Safe in there at first once again. Bethune-Cookman looking to get back in the win column after dropping their last game against Yale on Sunday. USF on a 6-game winning streak. We mentioned coming off a sweep last weekend against Georgia Southern. That one is low. Runner rides to second, and in there safe as Green swipes second base. And stays on the bag. A few innings ago, USF caught stealing at third after beating the throw, but sliding past third base. That was Relaford.
And the throw by Estrada was right on a line. Amante doing a really good job of trying to get in front of it and then make the tag on the foot. But like a mermaid, he was stuck on that base. He was not moving like it was his rock.
Yeah, sometimes you're just going to have to grab onto the base like it's a life raft there, as that one is in there for a strike from Carrasquilla, rather. The pitch, low and a little bit outside for a ball. Morrissey went 2 innings on 16 pitches. No runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Strong bullpen day so far for really both these squads. Only 1 run here on a solo shot. And this one's bounced over to short. A little bit of a high throw, but Fernandez takes care of it. Hoyedo gets the job done, and that's going to keep the runner also on second base. So that's going to bring up Lutz here. He steps up, lefty. One out here in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 ball game. Bethune-Cookman, the home team, leading the way here as that one's in their first strike from Carrasquilla. Lutz flew out to center his first time up. Just he's a big cut and a miss there to get behind the count 0-2. Lutz, native of Greenfield, Wisconsin. Holds off on that one, ball in the dirt. The 1-2 outside, 2-2. Nine hitter, Jevin Relaford, who doubled his last time up, standing on deck. Game's tying run, standing on second base for USF. That one's fouled down at the plates. Keeping the count at 2-2. And Green's got some speed there on second base. Stole second base after leadoff single to start the fifth inning here. Araskia trying to get out a little bit of a jam here as that one's popped up. In the shallow left, coming in is Darrell Lee, making the play no problem for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Jevin Relaford.
And Carrasquilla, who wasn't really hitting his spots that much in that at-bat. A little bit of relief as that ball, just a blue pop-up right into Darrell Lee. Didn't move the runner, kept the runner on second base. Did exactly what he needed to do there in that position and trying to get that third out here.
So 2 outs, runner in scoring position for the 9-hitter who's doubled his last time up, who's caught stealing at third. Takes Carstia's first pitch for a ball. Rutherford, the senior, transfer from Florida Southern in Lakeland. Looking to try to tie this ball game up as that one jammed him down the right field line. Fair. This one's going to tie the game up. Cruising into home and tapping home plates is Green, and it's a RBI 2-out single for Jevin Relaford, and we're tied here in Daytona Beach at 1-1.
A little Oppo blue fly ball that just dropped, and because Zuini was playing so far back, and even if he was playing in, I don't think he would have gotten that one because it was so close to that foul line and really just came off the bat and dropped right to the ground. Sometimes that's all you need to drive in that run, especially if your runner is on second and you're out trying to go, and you hit the ball into right field.
Threw it up the bat here for USF that they turn the lineup card to the top of the lineup. Rutherford checked there at first base from Carrasquilla. Check again. That one's low in the dirt. Nice pick there from Fernandez, the first baseman. Really not that bad of a pitch, just taking him the opposite way, and really nothing Zuini could do there to get there. And we have a 1-1 tie ball game here in the top of the 5th inning. Arasquilla, pitch out there. They're looking to try to get the runner. Another check. That one's a little bit closer, but he's in there safely. Relaford coming into this matchup 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts here this year, but got caught stealing early in this ball game as he slipped past the third base bag. Now, the Wildcats trying to keep him honest there at first. Arasquilla fires that one home, and this one's taken in the left field, but no problem for Darrell Lee, and that's out number 3. Wildcats get out of the inning, but not before they give up their lead. It's a 1-1 ball game here as Relaford has the 2 outs RBI single to score his teammate Jacob Green. and knock this ball game up at 1 apiece. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. USF 1, VCU 1. Here on the CatEye Network. New pitcher on the mound here for USF. Jorge Dennis steps onto the mound for USF. As Tweedy's night is done, went 2 innings, 29 pitches, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts. And first pitch is in there to the catcher, Jacob Estrada. That one's in there for a ball. 1-1 ball game after USF tied it up. 2-out RBI single for the 9-hitter from USF, Devin Relaford, that scored Jacob Green. That's where we stand here. Just tuning in with us for USF and Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Network and SWAC TV. That one's in there for a called strike. Estrada singled last time up, as watches that one come in for a ball and a leadoff walk for Jacob Estrada. Get the Wildcats going here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup here for Bethune-Cookman. Eric Almonte has reached on 2 singles so far in this 2 at-bats. That one's hit hard down the right field line, but it is foul. Takes a called strike. Key Cardina. Estrada at first. Nobody out. This one's driven in the left center. Going back and making the play off to his right is Pruitt, though. No problem for out number 1. That's going to bring up the second hitter in the lineup, Andre Martinez.
Pruitt read that one right off the bat, did a fantastic jump to get it as it was falling. That ball was hit really hard by Almonte, but just not enough to get past Pruitt.
That one's in the dirt. Martinez flew out his first time up, singled his second time up back in the third, but was stranded. Wildcats had the bases loaded in that third inning when he reached, but unable to get any runs across the plate. The solo shot, the one run for Bethune-Cookman from Jose Fernandez, as that one's down in the dirt. And it's a no-brainer there for Estrada to move over to second. He's in there easily now in the scoring position. The one run for USF. Back at the top of the fifth inning. RBI single from Jevin Relaford. That's where we stand here. Between these two Florida squads is a big cut and miss there. Martinez going to make contact with that one. All-time series led by USF, 45-15. ECU won the last matchup 10-9 in extras last year in a midweek matchup. And another walk here as Martinez will head to first base. Runners on first and second with a one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Wildcats continue to get men on base. Estrada in scoring position now. Martinez on first with a walk. Seeing all of the pitches that DeCarnes is going to pitch them. Darrell Lee up to bat now, and we might have another pitching change here for USF.
Let's get a mound visit, and looks like we will have a pitching change. We'll take a quick break. We'll meet the new pitcher for the Bulls on the other side of the break here on the CatEye Network. Pitching hit change here for USF. New pitcher on the mound for the Bulls. 5'9", junior, 175 from Galera, Oklahoma. Nakni Anna. Third appearance here this season. 2 1/3 in each pitch. 2 hits. He's given up 3 earned runs. 3 strikeouts as well. And he comes into the ball game with 2 runners on for Bethune-Cookman for the one out. And Darrell Lee up the bat. Lefty takes a big cut. This one's hit deep in the center field, but Pruitt back to make the play. Moving over to third from seconds was Jacob Estrada as he tagged up. Staying put at first base is Andre Martinez. So runners at the corners now for Bethune-Cookman with 2 outs. And Jeter Poyedo stepping up to the plates. Looking to try to give the Wildcats the lead once again. They've led it 1-0 for most of the ball game until the last half inning in the 5th when USF had an RBI single. Tie it up from Relaford. 2 outs. As pitch in there from Anna is in there for a ball. Benny Scherlinger here with Jade Burkett. In here for the voice of the Wildcats, Michael Trilio. Midweek non-conference matchup here between USF and Bethune-Cookman. Both teams with 1 run on 5 hits, no errors. About halfway through this one here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. If you're just joining us, Bethune-Cookman's solo shot from Jose Fernandez got them on top, and then USF tied it just a few minutes ago. As that one's high, taken from Poyedo. And a bullpen day as well, Jade, for both these squads in this midweek match, and you see that a lot as they want to save their aces for the weekends in their weekend series, especially this time of year. Check swing and a walk from Darrell Lee will load the bases. Or Poyedo will lay the bases as Lee moves over to second base.
And for these bullpen days, it's everybody's gonna get an inning type of day for the pitching staff. So you have to go in and do your job every single inning that you try to get into. And for both of these sides right now, their pitching staffs have done very well. Can the Bulls get out of this one unscathed?
That's the 3rd walk of this inning, as that's going to bring up Michael Lucena, the designated hitter. And Lee flew out. He was that out number 2. Martinez over at second now, so correction on that. Martinez at second, Estrada at third, and Poyedo at first. Anna fires that one in there. It's a little bit low. 2-0. And Anna's not going to want to go to 3-0 here. The base is loaded. It's just one should probably be a pretty good pitch. As that one's down in the dirt. And out of the bullpen, got some action down there. Anna's hasn't been able to find the strike zone, and going to get a mound visit from pitching coach Daniel Schlereth. He tries to settle down his pitcher on the mound here. We might also get a pitching change as well, as it looks like going to get a new pitcher as the Bulls will call to the bullpen. We'll take another quick break. 1-1 ball game. Bethune-Cookman has the bases loaded with 2 outs when we come back. USF heads to the bullpen, mid-at-bat bullpen pitching change here, is stepping up onto the mound on a 3-0 count. Nolan Bernard, the sophomore from Walden, Tennessee, in a jam, bases loaded, fires in the first pitch, and it is a ball. That's gonna give the Wildcats a 2-1 lead as Jacob Estrada will trot down the line and tap home plate. 2-1 ball game here on the 2-out bases loaded walk. Brings the go-ahead run board, or on the board for Bethune-Cookman. That's going to bring up Jose Fernandez, who had the solo shot at the beginning of this ball game. Holds off on the first pitch, down and away for ball number 1. And not the guy you want to see up for USF here with the struggles on the mound in the last few minutes. That one's hit hard foul down the line. That one was tattooed down the line there, Jade.
And Johnny Hernandez jumped out of the way so quickly, and he actually got smoked by a line drive this past weekend on his elbow, or near his elbow area, and so he wanted to get clear out of the way of that ball, and good job by Coach.
And that one's just golfed a little bit more softly down the left field line or third base line there, as Hernandez didn't have to react to that one. But Fernandez definitely looks like he's got the green light here and aggressive at the plate, trying to bring the runners aboard. Big cut and a miss there. He goes down swinging. Wildcats take the lead 2-1, but they still strand a few runners on the base pass. They lead the bases loaded, but they take the lead in the 5th inning. We head to the 6th inning, 2-1. Bethune-Cookman with the slight advantage over USF. Top of the 6th inning. About to get underway here. Pitching change for Bethune-Cookman. Gabe Moore on the mound. And his first pitch is in there for a strike on Radke Laurie. one in there a little bit low. So night is done for Carlos Kia. 1 inning, 2 hits, gave up a run. And the 4th pitcher here in this bullpen night for Bethune-Cookman. 2-1 ball game. Wildcats walked in a run last half inning. Left the bases loaded though. They've stranded 7 runners in this ball game. USF 3 runners stranded so far. That one's fouled out of play. 1-2.
USF hasn't had as many runners on base, so that number obviously going to be lower for them. But the Wildcats, this game could definitely have a larger margin than just 1 run because the Wildcats have had runners in scoring position, bases loaded opportunities for them right now. Gabe has to just get them back to the plate as soon as he can, not let the Bulls hang around because, like we mentioned earlier, this team can score runs and score them in bunches.
That one's hits hard down the left field line. It's going to get against the left field wall. Cruising around first and heading into second is Eli Thomas. Brad Key Laurie, rather, with a double there to lead it off. And USF has the game's tying run at scoring position here in the 6th inning. That one's hit hard down the left field line, foul. Jake Kulikowski singled, flew out to right with 2 at-bats. This one's hit hard in the left center field. Into the gap it goes, and it's going to drop. Laurie around third and stops as the cutoff man got it quickly there. And the runners are going to stay at second and third here with nobody out. And it's going to bring up Nathan Early.
Bulls could have definitely scored there, but Lowry stopped at third base. Rivera doing a fantastic job of getting the ball in quickly. Boyedo stopping any more runs from advancing, but like I just mentioned earlier, these Bulls, when their bats get hot, they get hot as one. And more now with no outs, having to work from behind here.
Back-to-back doubles as this one's hit high in the air, deep center. This should score Laurie as he tags up. And Rivera makes the throw to the cutoff man at short, and Boyedo. Both runners move up, and a runner on third base now as Kulikowski moves over. And it's a tie ball game at 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Early with the RBI sacrifice fly to knot this ball game up. That's going to bring up Eli Thomas. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike from Moore. That one bounces for Moore. So 1 out, 1 on here in the third. At third base here for USF. Kulikowski standing 90 feet away, represents the game's go-ahead run for USF. Big cut and a miss there from Thomas. Or the Jacksonville, Florida native, graduate student, transfer from West Florida. Trying to get out of this jam here. That one's just outside. Call for a ball. Second appearance here for Moore. Any pitched against FIU. 2 strikeouts as that one's high. Called for a ball. Thomas, who's grounded out and struck out. Count full. Big cut and a miss. Struck him out swinging there. And a nice fastball there. They get his man, Moore, with a big strikeout to get out number 2.
That was absolutely needed for game on the mound. Infield playing just on the edges of the infield turf. Anything over their heads hit on the ground, bouncing over, would have been detrimental for the Wildcats. He took care of it himself with the K.
So with 2 outs, runner on third, Jacob Green steps into the batter's box. Timeout called by the catcher Estrada, who's going to talk to Moore on the mound. Just tuning into this one, Bethune-Cookman took the lead. Back in the early stages of this ball game in the second inning, Jose Fernandez with a solo homer to put them up 1-0. Stayed 1-0 until the top of the 5th inning, where USF tied it up on a Jevin Relaford RBI single with 2 outs. Bethune-Cookman took the lead last time they were up on a walk with the bases loaded. They left 3 stranded, left the bases loaded though in that inning, and left some more on the plate there. The Wildcats have left 7 runners stranded. And then just a few moments ago, USF tied it up with a sacrifice fly. Johnny Hernandez out of the dugout here. So there's been some movement in the bullpen for Bethune-Cookman. We'll see if they'll make a change here or if this will just be head coach Jonathan Hernandez talking to his squad on the mound.
Temperature has dropped significantly since we started this game. Obviously, sun going down. The wind has picked up a little bit. Feels like 47 out here on the field. Obviously, with the beach being so close and the water being right here, you're going to get a little bit more of that sea breeze. But these mound visits, especially when we're doing pitching changes, it can make the players cold out there on the field, having to constantly move. I've seen Darrell Lee out in left field for the Wildcats hop up and down a few times just to keep himself warm. You have to in these type of games. You don't want your body to get stiff. Obviously, your first step has to be quick, whether you're in the infield or the outfield. So keeping your body warm at all times is so important for these players.
A long mound visit there. Jonathan Hernandez will retreat back into the dugout. And Moore still on the mound here as he's going to face Jacob Green. 2 outs, runner on third. Represents the go-ahead run in this ball game in a 2-2 score. Green shows bunt, pulls back. That one's called for a ball. 1-0. Green, 2 singles, scored that run back in the 5th inning. It tied the game at 1. The lefty stands in. The 1-0. 2-0. Green, the native of St. Petersburg in the Tampa area. For his time at USF, played at Seminole State College, as that one's outside 3-0 as the count runs 3 balls, no strikes with 2 outs. Green, the senior. And in a game that runs have been at a premium, has one of them. And that one's in there for a strike as Moore brings the count to 3-1. That one's in there for a strike. It will fill the count up at 3-2. A nice pitch there that froze Green.
Green had to look at the umpire there. I think he thought it might have been a ball and was about to start walking to first. Umpire called strike, and Gabe Moore has battled back here.
Went down 3-0. It's full now. 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Tapped back at the mound. Gets through and unable to make the play is Almonte. Green was headed down the line quickly. I don't know if he was going to get him. The runner will score from third, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Well, that's just unfortunate for the Wildcats because Gabe Moore battled back. He tried to get that ball. It went past him, and then Almonte was coming over from second, and Poyedo was also covering from behind him. And I don't know if there's a miscommunication out there on the field of who was going to get that ball, because it looked like when Poyedo got it and collected, he was a bit surprised by that, him fielding it. So I'm not sure who called it or who called it off, but run scored for the Bulls. And an opportunity for them to add more here with 2 outs.
So an infield single there brings the game's go-ahead run across the plate for USF, and a pitch hitter here for USF, Lance Triple. And we're going to get a pitching change here for Bethune-Cookman. We'll take a quick break. 3-2 is our score, with USF leading the way here. We'll take a quick break. Wildcats head to the bullpen once again. Moore's night is done. Racones in here for Bethune-Cookman. Ryan Racones, the junior and native of Aruba, will step in on the mound and will step up against pitch hitter Triple here for USF. Fires over to first. Check the runner. Green, who reached on an infield single, that RBI single, scored the go-ahead run, made it 3-2 USF. Another one over to first. Green in there safely. Ripple takes his first pitch, check swing. It's in there for a strike. Konas, a little bit of wild pitch outside. Nice play from Estrada back there behind the plates. For Konas, this is his third appearance of the season. 5 innings so far, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Pitched against Yale over the weekend. Was back on Friday, and Bethune-Cookman win. That one's in there. Safe once again for Green. Wildcats coming into this one 4-3 overall. And that one's in there for strike. As that gets over the plate. Played 6 games here before tonight at home. 3-3 record, 1-0 in neutral site matchups against FAMU back on Saturday in Vero Beach. As that one is tapped to the left side of the infield, on the run, making the play is the third baseman Martinez, and he gets the final out of the inning. Some damage done there, 3-2 ball game. USF takes the lead in the 6th inning, the top of the 6th inning. We head to the bottom half with the Wildcats taking the bats when we come back. Rivera, Zuani, and Estrada, the 3 batters due up here. 7, 8, 9 hitters for Bethune-Cookman that found themselves down 3-2 now for the first time they trail in this ball game. 2 runs come across the plate for USF. They had 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base in the top half of the 6th inning. So the Wildcats looking to answer here as that one's fouled back at the net behind home plate from Rivera. Struck out and has singled in this matchup. Just joining us, Bethune-Cookman early on got out to a 1-0 lead. Solo homer from Jose Fernandez. And it was tied up at 1-1 by USF. This one's grounded over to Lutz at third. Fires over to first for out number 1. It was tied up at 1-1. Bethune-Cookman then added another run on a walk with the bases loaded to go up 2-1. And then 2 runners ended up scoring for USF the last half inning to give them that 3-2 lead we have now. And that's going to bring up Ruben Zuani as he takes the first pitch for a ball. Bernard still in there on the mounds for USF. Both these teams having a bullpen day in this Tuesday midweek action, as that one's fouled high in the air, out of play. And time called. Halt in action momentarily. Zuani, native of Coral Springs, freshman, holds off on that pitch. Wildcats have 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. USF 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors in this one. Big cut and a miss there. Off-speed pitch, got timing off of Zuani. And that evens up the count at 2-2. Bethune-Cookman will be at home once again this weekend against Delaware State. Catch all that action here on the CatEye Network as that one's in there. For a ball, 3-2, the count goes full with 1 out. Wildcats looking to get back in the win column as this one's popped up high and looks to stay in the field of play. The catcher, Triple, makes the play, who came in for Arias, and that's out number 2.
And just not the at-bat that Zuani wanted to have. He saw the pitch is great and then just did not get enough of that one at all. Easy play for the Bulls, and this is exactly what they wanted in this bottom of the 6th. Go ahead in the top, get 1, 2, 3, hopefully here for the Bulls in the bottom.
So the 9-hitter, Jacob Estrada, reached on a single, a liner into the right field, and a walk. He ended up scoring in that inning. He was walked in with the bases loaded from third. Comes up with nothing really doing here with 2 outs. Nobody on, and the Wildcats trailing by 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Estrada, native of Fort Myers, freshman, holds on that one. A good mix of youth and returners here for this Bethune-Cookman squad. They've returned 7 of their 9 starters and a big bulk of their pitching staff as well, Jade. That one's fouled away.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the broadcast. It was so important for Johnny to just return those players and really create a culture of winning baseball here at Bethune-Cookman. And obviously their goal is that SWAC title once again, but they're really just taking it day by day. Every game right in front of them is the most important one for this team.
And striking out looking there. Estrada froze on that one. 1-2-3 inning for USF and Nolan Bernard. We head to the 7th inning, top of the 7th on the other side of this break. 3-2 is our score. USF, the visitors, leading it by 1 here in the CatEye Network. Top of the 7th inning, about to get underway here. 3-2 is our score. USF leading the way. Kenny Scherlinger in for Michael Chirillo. Jade Burkett alongside with you as well here on the CatEye Network on SWAC TV. Racona is still on the mound here out of the bullpen. Bullpen day here for Bethune-Cookman. Still some action going on in both bullpens down the right field and left field lines. This one's lined right to the shortstop, and no problem for the shortstop, Poyedo, as he takes care of that one for out number 1.
Great job by Ringones to just get a quick out there. Only threw 2 pitches. That's what he just needs to do. His team down now. How do they work back into this game and get his team back up to the plate?
That's going to bring up the 9-hitter, Javin Relaford, after Lutz goes down. Route number 1. This one is also a grounder. It's a short, but Poyedo couldn't corral that one. It's going to be a tough play anyway, and that's going to put Relaford on first. That's going to bring us to the top of the lineup. Ryan Pruitt will step in, the lefty, with 1 out, 1 on. Runner goes, Relaford is out. Nice play there behind the plate. Estrada and a better tag from Poyedo to get the runner.
And that ball was thrown on a dime by Estrada. Beautifully thrown, tag perfectly placed. And that's the 2nd time he has been called out on the base paths today. Wildcats needing that 2nd out here.
So 2 down. Relaford, who's a perfect 5 for 5 heading into this one, stealing the bases this year. Been caught twice this evening. And Pruitt now with the base pass empty. Big cut and a miss there. It's ruled an error there on the shortstop, Poyeto. Relaford reached on the error and then caught stealing at second. As this one's lined in the center field for a 2-out single for Ryan Pruitt.
And Pruitt extends his 8-game hit streak now to 9 hits for Pruitt on such a young season. That is every game that they have played, he has gotten hit in so far.
Raki Lori will step up to the plate. The righty second baseman is flown out 2 times so far in this ball game. Also has a hit as well. A double back in the 6th inning. Racones fired over to first unsuccessfully, trying to get Pruitt. One more throw over to first. Hernandez makes the tag, but not in time. Bulakowski standing on deck for USF. 3-2 ball game here in the top of the 7th inning. Bethune-Cookman led it 1-0. It was tied at 1-1. Bethune-Cookman went back on top 2-1, and then 2 runs came across the plate for USF that puts us at 3-2 right now. So back and forth we've gone the last couple of innings in this midweek Tuesday game here between one squad from the American Conference and one squad from the SWAC. And Bethune-Cookman here, the home team at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. That one's a little bit high. Racones wanted the call there. Bullpen game for both these squads. We've seen plenty of pitchers come out of the bullpen for both of them. Michael Benedict got the starts, went 2 innings for Bethune-Cookman, as that one is low. We've also seen Morrissey, Aracata, as that one's fouled away. Like we mentioned, Morrissey, we've seen Carrasquilla, Moore, Racones in here as well. Currently on the mounds. For USF, we've seen Montebriant, Tweedy, Carnia, Anna, Bernard here, as this one is down, and another caught stealing for Bethune-Cookman as they get another one. This time, Pruitt caught at second base, and that's going to end the inning. 2 to 3 outs at second base. USF trying to swipe the bag. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Still 3-2 ball game led by USF. Almonte Martinez and Lee, your three up, top of the order, due up here for Bethune-Cookman in a 3-2 ball game, bottom of the 7th inning. Wildcats looking to add some runs here as the first pitch is taken from Almonte. Bernard still on the mound for USF.
If I'm the Wildcats right now, these three batters are the ones that I would want up to start this rally. Try to get a run back here and go ahead.
Big cut and a miss there from Almonte. Wildcats went down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They look to not repeat that here as they're down by 1 run. They've really have led the majority of this ball game. They led 1-0, had that lead for a couple of innings. Then it was tied up, took the 2-1 lead. That was before USF added 2 and they took the lead 3-2, and now they've held on to the lead. About the last inning or so.
This game has momentum shifted.
Yep.
I feel like a bunch of times. The Wildcats had it in the beginning, and then the Bulls just kept putting in work, hit after hit after hit.
This one's fouled down at the plate. Might have went off of Almonte there.
And then they got those runners out on the base paths. Defensive plays could help at the plate for the Wildcats. They're hoping to do that here in the 7th, and they really haven't had much production, really. They had a lot of runners in scoring position, and we mentioned 7 left earlier in this game, but really nothing in the last 2 innings.
That one's high and tight there. Almonte holds off on it. Like you mentioned, 7 left on base for Bethune-Cookman, 4 for South Florida. Wildcats have struck out 6 times so far against this pitching staff of USF. And that one's fouled off. Almonte, a little bit of a battle here with Bernard. And all these batters for both these squads have seen different pitchers just about every at-bat. And Almonte with a leadoff walk. Fired up his dugout a little bit there, and that's exactly what the Wildcats needed after going down 1-2-3 in the last half inning. We had a leadoff walk from their leadoff hitter, Eric Almonte. He'll take the base pass via walk his 2nd time here tonight. That's going to bring up Andre Martinez.
It's exactly what the Wildcats needed, especially from their leadoff man. Almonte loves to swing, but when he sees those pitches and works a walk, it allows the people behind him to see those pitches as well, obviously giving them that energy when he put his bat down and trotted over to first. But now you have power hitters and Martinez coming up. Lee will get on base. Boyedo in the cleanup spot. An opportunity for the Wildcats to really add some damage here.
Timeout, quick mound visit there from Triple to his pitcher on the mound. And now we're going to get another mound visit. Pitching coach Daniel Schlereth out. See if this will be a pitching change, and yes, it will be, as Bull coming out of the bullpen. We'll take a quick break. 3-2 is our score here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Wildcats trail it by 1, but threatening here. We'll take a quick break. Andre Martinez will step into the batter's box momentarily. Pitching change for USF. On the mound, number 22, Ethan Sutton, the 6'3" redshirt sophomore transfer from University of Georgia. Looking over to the dugout now after he's off the mound to get some type of equipment, I believe.
I think he's getting his pitch comm out there.
He's talking to pitching coach Daniel Schlereth.
Guess he didn't realize the whole time he was warming up that he didn't have it on.
So Sutton will step in to this ball game in the 7th inning. This is his 3rd appearance this season. Has went 6 2/3, given up 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Like we mentioned, spent his first part of his career at University of Georgia. First pitch, or first action on the mound is to pitch over to check the runner at first. Back over to first, Almonte, who had the leadoff walk to start the inning. Represents the game's tying run for Bethune-Cookman. Andre Martinez at the plates. Big cut and a miss there. Martinez, last time these two faced off at Jackie Robinson Ballpark in a 10-9 ball game in 10 innings. Martinez had the walk-off double that scored his teammate Darrell Lee. Runner going, Amante down to second. He's in there safely. The throw wasn't bad, but at one hop there, as Triple couldn't get it down to second base, and the runner in scoring position now for the Wildcats, representing the game's tying run down 3-2.
And Almonte got a great jump from first, took off, and yes, the throw was good, but not great for the speedy Almonte to get under the tag. Wildcats aggressive on the base pass. You love that, and you're going to see a lot of it from head coach Johnny Hernandez.
Almonte, 5th stolen base of the season, as that one's high on Martinez. Martinez, speaking of walk-offs, had a walk-off 2-run shot on Friday against Yale in a win for Bethune-Cookman. Big cut and a miss there. And that's going to be a strikeout there as Martinez goes down, and that's going to bring up Darrell Lee.
Martinez looking like he was just trying to be the hero in that situation, and the Wildcats really don't need that hero moment. They've been playing small ball to really get runners on bases. They don't need a big hero moment with a big hack to send the ball over the fence. They really just need to get runners in spaces. That was only their first out. They have 2 more to go here in this inning.
That's going to bring up Lee. 0 for 3 with pop-up, fly out, and hit into that 1-2-3 double play. That kind of killed the momentum, and the bases loaded for Bethune-Cookman. That was back in the 3rd inning, so he's looking to turn the tide a little bit here at the plate and try to get a base knock that could tie the ball game up with a runner at second in scoring position and with speed with Eric Almonte, who reached on a leadoff walk to start this 7th inning. Lee turns away at that one, high fastball. Got in on him quickly. Lee, the JUCO transfer. Coastal Alabama Community College South. As he holds off on that one. Native of Troy, Alabama. A lefty, senior. 5'10", 165 lefty, a little bit of an open stance. Stands close to the plates. Backs away off that one, and it is another walk. Lee's gonna climb aboard the first base. And with 1 out, runners at first and second for Bethune-Cookman and Jeter Poyeto. steps into the right-handed batter's box. He reached his last time up on a walk himself.
And Darryl did exactly what the Wildcats did need. Patient at-bats, see pitches, make them pitch to you, gets the walk, and then puts himself, again, in a position to help his team score here with Poyedo, who has been a pretty strong hitter for this team in this young season.
Nine RBIs for Poyedo, 2 doubles and a homer. And nobody's really home there at second. Sutton just fires over there, a little bit of a toss. Wildcats have the game's go-ahead run at first base, game's tying run at second. Big cut and a miss there from Poyedo. Leads the way with the Wildcats with 9 RBIs. So you want up as this one's driven deep into center field. Going back and making the overhead catch is Pruitt at center field. Runners will get back, but oh my goodness, what a play out there in center field by Pruitt to rob the Wildcats by at least 1 run.
An absolute effort by Pruitt out in center field. He didn't get the best lead on the ball. Had to catch it over his shoulder in kind of an awkward grab, but makes the catch nonetheless. At the last second, I thought it might be going over his shoulder, and the Wildcats were for sure going to score at least 1. But he makes a fantastic grab right at the wall. Keeps both runners where they are, records another out for the Wildcats.
That's about as good as you get out there in outfield, as that one was in dangerous territory. He was right up against the wall at that point and just made the catch at the last moment there over his shoulder. Ryan Pruitt saving at least 1 run for his squad there, and at least for now keeps it a 3-2 lead for USF. So the designated hitter Michael Lucena up now with 2 on and 2 out, but down 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, a little bit high, holds off 1-2. Lucena reached on a walk his last time up. He's popped up and grounded out before that. The designated hitter looking for a big hit here in the 7th inning. The 1-2 pitch, driven in the right field down. This one's going to score 1, and the runners all safe on the base pass. Cruising in and making the effort to cross home plate. Eric Almonte to tie it up at 3, and it's an RBI single with 2 outs for the designated hitter, Michael Lucena.
What a perfect AB for Lucena. Drives it deep enough into the outfield where Johnny Hernandez felt comfortable sending Almonte, who's speedy on base pass. Darrell Lee moves from first to third. Wildcats tie the game, and home run hitter from early on in this game, bottom of the 2nd. Jose Fernandez steps up to the plate in a crucial moment with 2 outs.
Solo shot back in the 3rd inning. Big cut there, swing and a miss. And it looks like they called a balk there. It's going to bring the runners and advance them over to the base pass, and that's going to bring another run home as Darrell Lee crosses home plates to give them the lead. Head coach here for USF, Mitch Hand, is not liking that call. So 4-3 is our score now. on the balk. Darrell Lee scores. Lucetta moves over to second. Now he is in scoring position. And Lucetta is getting checked out by the training staff here out in shallow center field. It's like it's just maybe getting worked on at his back.
It does look like athletic trainer Justice will be taking him out of the game. And
we're gonna get a pitch runner. It looks like Sammy Sapalo is gonna step in for him. Seplo on the base pass. The junior, transfer from Hillsborough Community College. And Fernandez set back here.
And hopefully Lucena is okay. He looks like he is in a lot of pain over there. His teammates going over to make sure that he's okay. But he just looks really frustrated over there. The entire dugout going to that far side to check on their teammate who, I mean, fired them up on that last hit. Sammy Seplo will now be at second base, and that was a confirmed balk to put those runs in and the runners advance.
It was definitely a late call. It was the pitch waited to the plate, and it was a big cut and a miss there, so a lot was going on as Fernandez takes his first official pitch there. That one's in their first strike. Count run full. It runs full here. The 3-2 popped up high in the air. This one looks like it'll stay in fair territory. And going back to make the play is early from first base. That's going to end the inning for the Wildcats, but not before they have two come across the plate. A big RBI single from Michael Lucetta, and then a balk brings another runner home in Darrell Lee to give them the lead. Bethune-Cookman on top now, 4-3 as we head to the 8th inning here in Daytona Beach. Another call to the bullpen for Bethune-Cookman here in the top of the 8th inning. Frank Perez in for the Wildcats, senior, 6'2", 220 from Pembroke Pines, Florida man for his second appearance here in 2026. Pitched against Bradley 1 inning and went scoreless with 2 strikeouts. First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Bradkey Laurie, is in there for a called strike. Perez gets ahead in the count, wasting no time, fires that one in. That one's a little bit outside for a ball.
nickname is Frank the Tank. He is a player that is everything for this program as he gets his second strike in there as well. And he's battled injury and tried to work back, and this season really could be the season that he's worked into the rotation. And just a good teammate all around. And those are the type of players that you need on your team.
That one's lined sharply to first. Fernandez will take it himself, step on the bag, and out number one as Laurie lines out to start the 8th inning. That's going to bring it to the left fielder, Jake Kolakowski. Got a couple base knocks and a fly out in his first 3 at-bats. Perez, first pitch is just outside, 1-0. Wildcats notched 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. And as that one's low in the dirt, gets past the catcher Estrada. 1 run, the first run coming on a RBI single from the designated hitter Michael Lucena, and then Darrell Lee was balked in from third base to give the Wildcats the 4-3 lead.
And in a game that's this close, you're really not going to care how runs come across. And honestly, a credit to the dugout for the Wildcats, who have been so lively throughout this entire game, giving their team energy, momentum, using different moments like that to create opportunities for their offense.
That one's in there for a strike. Kolakowski. And called a ball there. Dugout wanted a strike. Wildcats have scored on a bases loaded walk and a balk. 2 of their 4 runs in this ball game, as this one's popped up high in the air. Rivera back to make the play. No problem there for out number 2. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Nathan Early. Early takes the first pitch from Perez for a ball, 1-0. Early walked his first time up back in the first inning, grounded out in the 4th to second, and hit a sacrifice fly back in the 6th inning to bring a runner across the plate. Big cut and a miss there from Early. That one's driven in the right field, but right into the glove of the right fielder for Bethune-Cookman. To Aney. And that's going to end the inning. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning with the Wildcats up 4-3 here at home. They try to close it out when we come back. Wildcats 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up. Sergio Rivera, Ruben Zuani, and Jacob Estrada due up for Bethune-Cookman here, trying to get a win here in the midweek game against USF. The squads have been pretty familiar with each other over the years as Rivera takes the first pitch for a strike. Sutton. Wildcats won the last matchup in 10 innings against USF last time these two faced here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Andre Martinez had the walk-off double. Another tight one here, and a big cut and a miss there. And timeout, as Rivera's going to talk.
They like to nickname themselves the Cardiac Cats. And they're hoping to keep this lead, maybe add a few more for insurance going into the top of the ninth to avoid the Cardiac Cats tonight.
One, two is the count. Nobody out here. The leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 8th inning, Sergio Rivera, center fielder. Struck out looking his first time up. Had a single back in the 4th and grounded out to 3rd and strikes out here. Report out number 1. That's going to bring up a pinch hitter here for Bethune-Cookman. Jorge Rodriguez is going to step up. Graduate student. Transferred from Wabash Valley State Community College and from Ponce, Puerto Rico. As he'll face off with Sutton. He's throwing his 22nd pitch here out of the bullpen. That one's outside. Sutton, the transfer from University of Georgia. And the 6th pitcher in this matchup for USF. Bethune-Cookman also with a handful of pitchers out of the mound, out of the bullpen rather. With 6 as well. Breaking ball, cut and a miss there. As Rodriguez was fooled on that one. This one's lined in the left field into the gap. It's going to be a 1-out single for the pinch hitter. Walking back, looked like we had a timeout.
I think they're going to call it foul. I think they said it hit off of him before.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it went off
before it was hit. Rodriguez, an all-around player for the Wildcats. He's played first base, DH, even caught a few times as well previous years, and has an explosive bat here. That's why you see him in this pinch hitting role.
And fouls that one back out of play. Normally you don't see a hard hit ball go off it, make it into the outfield there, so. Midweek baseball always opens it up. We've seen a couple of odd plays. The balk gave the Wildcats the lead a couple innings ago. And a breaking ball gets him to strike out. Well, back-to-back Ks. That's going to break up Jacob Estrada with 2 outs.
Sutton going to work here in the bottom half of this inning. Knowing his team needs to get up to bat to try to have an opportunity to go ahead here in the 9th. 2 quick outs for the Bulls.
Sutton has seemed to find a little bit of a groove here, especially in this 8th inning, trying to go 1, 2, 3 and get it back to his offense to try to tie this ball game up. That would be in the 9th inning here. We're in the bottom of the 8th, 4-3 game. Bethune-Cookman leading it. Big cut and a miss again from Estrada. Struck out his last time up. Behind in the count here. 0-2. Sutton fires that one in there, and it is lined over to the second baseman, Laurie, for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats. They try to close it out on the other side of this break, up 4-3. We head to the top of the 9th inning. Bethune-Cookman up by 1 late against USF. Top of the 9th inning, 4-3 ball game. Bethune-Cookman trying to take the victory here and close it out. They'll do it on the back of Justin Morales, who's coming out of the bullpen to try to close this one out. The junior from Orenstad, Aruba, 6'4", 210. Fires the first pitch in there into the leadoff hitter, Eli Thomas. Designated hitter. It's behind in the count, 0-1. And that one's in there, a little bit inside. Morales, 3rd appearance here so far this season. He's pitched in 2 innings. 3 hits, 1 earned run. In there for a strike. Strike 2. He's got 3 strikeouts as well as walked 2 batters. Transfer from Tallahassee Community College. Or Tallahassee State. As that one is in there for a ball. 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Popped up high in the foul territory. Making the play is Darrell Lee for out number. And a nice play there as he was working to that mound over for the bullpen for Bethune-Cookman out there in left field in foul territory.
Everyone that was warming up in the bullpen kind of scattered away from the play. Lee doing a good job of making sure he wasn't going into the mound, giving himself and a first easy out here for the Wildcats.
It's going to bring up Jacob Green, the right fielder. He's got 3 singles here this evening as that one is fired over to the third. Martinez makes the play, fires across the diamond for out number 2. Bulls down to the last out, down by 1. And Lance Triple, who pinch hit a few innings ago, back in the 6th inning, will step in to the right-handed batter's box. Try to keep this game alive. Bethune-Cookman looking to get in the win column here, get their 2nd straight victory against USF in 2 meetings. First pitch in there for a ball from Morales. Comes on once again outside. Morales will be pitching in the World Baseball Classic for Aruba. That's coming right around the corner here. That one's popped up out of play. 1-2, he gets ahead in the count.
He's also played with his teammates now, Brian Rincones and Harvey Abreu, in the U19 and U23 Netherlands national team. So a lot of connection here with the Wildcats.
That one's just a little bit low. So playing for the Netherlands from Aruba in the World Baseball Classic. Of course, Aruba, part of the Netherlands, is the 2-2 is driven deep into or shallow left field. Lee making the dive, can't make the play. And safely getting over to first after making a long turn was Triple. And life here for USF in the 9th inning.
I thought he had it. It was so close. What an effort by Darrell Lee. That's the type of player he is. We talked about him not really having a role last year, stepping into a role this year. He's a sellout type of player. He wants to make that final out, the big out for his team, and just mistimed it a tad. Wildcats still have only 1 out to go here in the top of the 9th.
That's going to bring up Jack Lutz. The lefty steps in. Holds off on the first pitch, outside and high. He's flown out twice and has grounded out. And he's going to head over to his head coach, Mitch Hanna's, on a timeout called here to try to talk over some strategy here, USF.
So I talked about how Justin and Harvey and Brian, they all played together on the Netherlands team, but they actually also all grew up around each other in the same 5-minute span of one another. I was talking to Harvey before the game started just about growing up in Aruba and playing with and against these players. So him and Brian Rincones played against Justin when they were kids. And I asked him, I said, you're gonna have to send me a picture of you guys all playing against each other in your uniforms when you were kids, because that would have been perfect. And then they grow up, they come here to the States to play, and Justin and Harvey were actually teammates in Tallahassee, transfer here together, and all 3 of them are roommates, so they all can speak their native language together at home and just spend time in that brotherhood all together. When they go back home, they also do spend a lot of time together as well because they still live so close together. It's amazing to have that similarity, that sense of home here in the States.
Lots of team chemistry there. Great inside look there, Jade. And you can't beat continuing your career against the childhood friends, especially on the small island of Aruba. There's Justin fires that one in.
And I asked Harvey if they ever talked about the beef when they were kids. And he said, oh, yeah, we joke around with each other a lot about it.
The 2-0 in there for a strike. 2-1. 2 outs. 4-3 game. Bethune-Cookman looking to get in the win column once again. They're falling on Sunday against Yale. Morales fires that one in. This one's hitting the foul territory. Lee Maven chase, and he makes the catch. Fired up to make that one, Darryl Lee, after he misplayed a really tough play out in left field. For out number 3, he gets the 3rd out. His next opportunity, and the Wildcats win it 4-3. They beat USF for the 2nd straight time.
And what a game, honestly. This was very back and forth. Wildcats go up first and maintain the lead, and then the Bulls pull back. This team has scored 29 runs and a program record in their sweep against Georgia Southern, so they have proven that they can hit the ball, but the Wildcats battle back after going down and play some pretty good baseball. They use the momentum from their dugout to use on the field. Defensive plays, throwing runners out, just allowed them to get back to the plate quickly and score this one, or win this one narrowly.
The Wildcats get 4 runs on 6 hits. They left 8 runners on base, but that ended up not mattering there. They kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple times. They had 1 error. USF, 3 runs on 10 hits, left 5 runners on base, but they also shot themselves a little bit in the foot. They walked a run home with the bases loaded, and then also balked a run home as Darryl Lee came across the plate. Lots of players all over the board making big plays for Bethune-Cookman. Darryl Lee, one of them there. Jacob Estrada behind home plate, had a couple of great throws to give him a chance to take the Bulls off the base pass, and they caught him stealing a couple different times, and the solo shot really got him going with Jose Fernandez that got it out to a 1-0 lead. And the Wildcats get back in the win column, improved to 5-3 overall. They knock off USF, who was red hot coming into this one, winners of 6 straight. Like you mentioned, Jade, have scored a ton of runs. They scored 29 runs over the weekend against Georgia Southern in their sweep, and also had a nice series against Illinois out of the Big Ten, which is always a very solid program as well. So this is a big win for the Wildcats, who are trying to live up to some lengthy expectations this year. Picked to win the SWAC, obviously won the SWAC last year, made it to the NCAA tournament after winning the SWAC tournament as well. So just wanted to get your thoughts on all what happened here tonight and the future moving up.
Well, head coach Johnny Hernandez wants that 40-win season. He's been chasing it. He makes it known that that is what he wants to do, and this team is poised to do it. You see the way that they battled. You see the spark that they have. They know that they have a target on their back, winning the championship last year, picked first to win again and repeat. They know that the stakes are high, but they're really just taking one day at a time, stacking those wins, and big wins like this in a midweek where you're trying to use arms in the bullpen, a gritty win coming off a long weekend and another weekend in front of them. This was a great win for the Wildcats.
We'll speak with Jonathan Hernandez, the head coach, like we just mentioned. Really doing a great job with this program here in this 5th season. The reigning SWAC champs in the regular season and the tournament. After he talks to the team, he'll make his way up to our broadcast booth. But the Wildcats winning this one 4-3. A really nice non-conference midweek game ahead of their series this weekend against Delaware State. The Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman knock off USF, the Bulls, and the last 2 games these 2 programs have met. They've really been some squeakers here. 10-9 a year ago back at Jackie Robinson right here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark in 10 innings. Martinez had the walk-off double in that one. And then back and forth matchup here, 4-3. The Wildcats get the win. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Wildcats, Jonathan Hernandez. We'll talk about what just transpired in the last couple hours in front of us. And we'll get a little bit of a look into their weekend series coming up against Delaware State. This is the CatEye Network on SWAC TV. We'll be right back in just a few moments. All right, here with the head coach of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, Jonathan Hernandez here. Wildcats get a nice win here, midweek game against USF, second straight win against the program, and as many games, 4-3. And coach, just want to get your thoughts. It was a staff day out of the bullpen. You had a lot of different guys step up in a back and forth contest here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to the pitching staff. You know, they gave us an opportunity the entire game. You know, Benedict started it out, and then Morrissey gave us 2 clean innings. And then, but again, it was a total team effort, man. Again, the pitching did outstanding today. And then offensively, we just did enough to get the W today.
Want to talk about your catcher here, as he really played well behind the plate, and you cut him stealing a couple different times. So want to get your thoughts on him and everything that's he brought to the plates, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob's done a good job. I mean, as a freshman, right, you never know how they're going to kind of react to playing at Division I level. But, I mean, he's matured beyond his years. You know, his credit to Coach Allen, right, who works with our catcher day in and day out. And, I mean, he had 2 or 3 critical throws to throw out runners for USF tonight that really kind of balanced and changed the momentum back to our dugout. And then offensively, 1 for 3 with the walk with runs scored. I think that, again, the future is bright for Jacob. And, not only do we have pitching depth, we have offensive depth, but we believe that we have catching depth as well. So, I mean, again, kudos to Jacob. He's been working hard all year. And kudos to Coach Allen for getting the catchers ready.
Yeah, Jacob Estrada behind the plate defensively and also had a good day at the plate as well, and also scored a run. You mentioned that the pitching staff on their side, they also had a bullpen day. So how do you think that your guys handled a lot of different pitchers out of the bullpen, and they really threw a lot of guys at them, and a lot of those guys didn't really see mobile bats against the same guy. How did you see that?
I think biggest thing was on the strike zone, right? In a situation where we only had 6 hits, but then again, we had 7 boxes and out, and so that puts some track on the bases. Would we have liked to have broken it open? You had base loaded at some point, and they unfortunately grounded out into a double play, and they got out of it. But our guys just stuck with the plan, stuck with the approach, and the biggest thing was owning the strike zone tonight, taking their walks, not doing too much, give them whatever the pitchers were giving them, and took advantage of those opportunities. And this is such a great start to the week.
Darrell Lee made that last play just a few moments ago. Before that, it was a tough play, trying to make the diving catch. It seemed like that he wanted to make that catch, and it kind of was a relief for him to go over and also make a tough catch in foul territory with the bullpen mound out there. So what you see from him tonight, and where he kind of had an up and down game. I'm sure he wasn't happy with himself drowning out in that double play with the bases loaded, but bouncing back and making the final out there.
Well, that's the biggest thing that we remind our guys, and I know that we tell them a ton, is, don't never take your at-bats, to the field, because you don't know. You could be 0 for 3 at the plate, but you make a game-saving catch or a game-ending play, nobody really cares about the 0 for 3, right? And in Darrell's case, that's what it was today. He made, a play that we feel he should have made, and he was just short, right? It's a game of inches, but, I mean, a spectacular play down the bullpen in order to finish the game and, give us the W.
What do you want to take away from today, heading into a weekend series against Delaware State?
I think that, when we come out and play our brand of baseball, we're going to be tough to beat. And with the great competition that we do play in our midweeks, the state of Florida, I think that it is crucial for us to continue to build on the success of tonight. We'll enjoy this win tonight, but we have 2 good days of practice ahead of us before we play on Friday. So I'm just looking for our guys to come in out tomorrow to the ballpark after a win and get after 48 hours before we got to go first pitch against Delaware State on Friday.
Well, Coach, thank you. That's Jonathan Hernandez. Johnny Hernandez gets a win with his squad here this evening here on Tuesday, 4-3. We appreciate the time, Coach.
We got it. Hail Wildcats.
So that's good up for us as we say thank you for joining us here on the CatEye Network and SWAT TV. 4-3 your final score. Bethune-Cookman improves to 5-3 overall, and look to a weekend. This one goes to against Bethune-Cookman, and we talked to head coach Johnny Hernandez just a couple moments ago. He's proud of his team. They stayed level-headed and got a nice win in South Florida here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. So that's going to do it for us. My name is Kenny Scherlinger, Jay Burkett alongside with me this evening as well. She's down doing some social interviews with player of the game. So thank you for joining us here on the CatEye Network, and we will catch you this weekend against Delaware State. Bethune-Cookman will have a nice weekend series in a few days after a couple practices coming up here in Daytona Beach. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you this weekend.